get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream.
I cannot be the best player in the league. I don't see why.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something.
I think they make them the only 60-game winner in the NBA and probably gives them a great chance of being the Eastern representative.
They're the only undefeated team left in the NBA.
That 95-96 Bulls team could beat you on the 3, could beat you on the 2, could beat you in the alley, could beat you on the boards. They could go small, they could go big. It is the greatest defensive team. I've been watching the NBA for 45 years. That 95-96 Bulls team is the greatest professional sports team I have ever seen in any league at any time.
We're 2-1, man. We're not 1-2. Let's go out here and play this thing, all right?
Let's be ready to roll now.
I like that.
What time is it?
You can do anything you want from this day on. So if I desire to come back and play again, maybe that's what I want to do. Maybe that's the challenge that I may need someday down the road.
Guess who?
Baseball's lost, basketball's gained. I'm back. That's all Jordan said on Saturday. That was really all Jordan needed to say.
Jordan talks about coping, recharging, and returning.
Are you as good now as you were when you left?
I'm better.
Jordan! They were everything. There's never been a professional team like that. When you go back to the Bulls in their prime, they had guys that could have scored 20 a night in other cities that said, I'll score 8 and play defense.
Michael Jordan baseline. 1 point. Chicago lead. 17-point away.
Michael. The loser Stackhouse.
What are you talking about?
But the greatest glory lay in the team's accomplishment. A record-breaking 7-0.
This is just one step. I must admit, we didn't start the season and say, hey, we're going to win 7 games. We start the season and say we're going to win a championship. We're halfway there right now.
They were unbelievable. They were the best. They were the best pressing team. They were the best shooting team. They were the most physical team. They were the most competitive team. They were the best team with 2 minutes to go in a game. That Bulls team is the greatest professional sports team I have ever seen easily.
Victory number 71. The Bulls add to the record. For the Bulls, their 71st win of the season. They're 71-0. They've finished the regular season where they've had such a great year on the road. The Bulls finished the regular season 72 wins, just 10 losses on the year.
If you win a championship, you'll see a much more enthusiastic party. Believe it.
Michael, welcome back. Congratulations, 1995-96 NBA Most Valuable Player.
Has become a reality for the Chicago Bulls.
72-10 is an outstanding record, but 72-10 don't mean a thing without a ring, and that's pretty much been the focus of this team all year. We're here this year to win a championship. That's our ultimate goal.
The Bulls were relaxed and confident as they took on Miami in round 1.
The 72-win Chicago Bulls, 72 wins, swept the Heat, as I mentioned last week, with Hardaway and Alonzo Mourning.
The Bulls have been superb.
Beat the Knicks in 5 games, an excellent Knicks team. The only Knicks win was at home in overtime. Jordan dropped 46.
And finally sent the Knicks home for the season.
Jordan just looked over at Spike Lee and waved bye-bye. The Bulls are moving on to face the Orlando Magic. turns it around in the second half. They are befuddling the Orlando Magic.
Swept the Shaq Penny Magic, who'd been to the finals the year before and won 60 games that
A superb performance by the Chicago Bulls.
To win the NBA championship Sunday night, or they would set the stage for a game that could conclude both the greatest championship comeback and the greatest championship fold in the history of American sports. Get ready to rock.
and followed that up in the finals with a win against the Seattle team that had won 64 games.
Here's Jordan kicking it out. Tip back. We are just under 1 minute. The Chicago Bulls the presentation of the championship trophy in just a moment. An emotional moment.
Winning to everybody's ambition. Every player that's part of the roster doing the sacrifice to accomplish one continent, just to win the championship.
It's been a long road. It started from scratch. I had a lot of support from my teammates, from my family. I'm just happy for the city of Chicago. I'm sorry I was out for 18 months, but I'm happy I'm back. Bring a championship back to Chicago.
Those are all monetary things that doesn't mean much to me anyway. I play the game because I love the game. If I don't have a purpose, I walk away from the game. I like when they can't expect something. They're basically going to guess. You never know. You may guess wrong. That's the advantage I always feel I've always had over my opponent, is that they don't know what to expect on a certain day. As soon as they know what to expect, then I lose the edge that I feel I have. But being that they don't know, that's the edge that I like to have.
I can't even put it in words. My Father's Day, what it means to me. I know he's watching. This is for Daddy.
One of the great regular seasons in the history of the league, 67 wins. One of the most dominant home court records in NBA history is going to end with a title. And there's Alvin Gentry, the new Pelicans coach.
So in your mind, can they win 72 games this year?
72? No, I don't think that should even be the goal. Can they win 72? No, they can't. And the goal is to do a little Greg Popovich along the line.
Sure, yeah,
rest Steph Curry, rest Draymond Green, rather than try to win 75 regular season games.
The Warriors in Minnesota taking on the Timberwolves and wasting no time with a blistering start on the way to what is now a 10-0 record and a standalone franchise record for consecutive wins to start a season with a victory over the T-Wolves. Stephen Curry with 21 first-quarter points, a couple of threes to get things going.
Curry to the basket, foul, shots good, Bulls run for it. Richardson Thompson, Sean Livingston drives, pass inside, oh, beautiful.
Now, 2 seasons later, you see the Warriors with 11 consecutive victories to start the season.
Oh, Ronnie Price went for the steal, and Curry
Look at that pass. Oh my goodness.
The Golden State Warriors are 15-0, tying the 93-94 Houston Rockets and the 48-49 Washington Capitals for the best record to start a season.
On their laurels whatsoever.
Draymond ahead of the field. Draymond, oh my goodness, just gave Anthony Power crossover, and that's the sweetest jumper in the league.
Steph Curry certainly looked good. The Warriors extend the best start in NBA history and improved to 20-0 in Steph Curry's hometown on a night when the Hornets honored Curry's father, Dell, the franchise's career scoring leader. It was Steph who stole the spotlight yet again, though, scoring 40 points in 3 quarters as the Warriors defeated the Hornets.
That'll be it. The Warriors have won 20 in a row. Curry to win. Good. Good. 110 left. That will do it. So 23-0 and 27 in a row.
To stay perfect in Indiana, the Golden State Warriors have now won 27 straight, dating back to last season, tying the 2012-13 Heat for the second longest streak in NBA history.
Boston keeps their winning streak alive. It took 2 overtimes. But the Golden State Warriors continue to write history here in the NBA, 124-119.
Stephen A., what will it take to beat this Warriors team?
First of all, they're not going 82-0. Let's pump the brakes on that. I don't believe that's going to happen. Somebody will beat them. They will take a night off at some point. But I do believe they will eclipse the Bulls' 72-10 record.
I do too.
I firmly believe
I
that.
think we feel pressure to break the record. We're right there, and our guys want to do it. So we'll go for it. Let's see if we can get it.
The Golden State Warriors, who now tied the Chicago Bulls for the all-time record. And again, they will host the Magic on Monday with a chance to make it 45 straight. How do you put this one into words, Chuckster? How do you put this team into words, Golden State?
Steph is obviously the best player in the world right now on the offensive end. He's a hell of a player. Their defense is really good, but I think, and I just said a little bit of their bench is fantastic. When you bring in, you got Spates out there, Livingston, Barbosa. I mean, they just keep coming at you.
Are the Warriors, when healthy, the best team in NBA history?
The Minnesota Timberwolves handed the Warriors their second loss in the last 3 games last night, 124-117. This really puts the Warriors' hunt for 73 wins in jeopardy. They need to win out their season. They need to beat the Spurs twice and the Grizzlies twice. That's what's remaining on their schedule. They haven't even clinched the 1 seed, technically.
Guys, with the win last night over the Pelicans, the Warriors became the fastest team in the NBA to 60 wins. The Warriors are now 60-6, on pace to break the Bulls' record of 72 wins in 1 season. Now, according to our Basketball Power Index, the Warriors now have a 71% chance of winning 72 games, 46% chance of winning 73 games. They also have a 40% chance of repeating as NBA champs. You got all that? Some statistics there for you. Stephen A., break it down for us. The question is, are the Warriors going to get to 73 wins?
Well, I definitely think the chances should be better than 46%. I can tell you that much.
Warriors and Spurs. Golden State trying to get to 72 wins, which would tie them with the 95-96 Chicago Bulls.
2 best teams in the NBA. This will be quite a ball game.
The Golden State Warriors have equaled the Chicago Bulls as the only 2 teams in NBA history to be 72 wins and 1 game remaining on Wednesday. They tie the Bulls with a chance to go for History Wednesday.
This is no ordinary final day of the regular season. The pursuit of history comes down to 1 final game.
It's official number 73. The greatest regular season in NBA history now belongs to the 2016 Golden State Warriors.
I honestly thought nobody would ever beat that record. Now we got 1 more season, the mini season coming up. All right.
Oscar Robertson of the Cincinnati Royals. He's the game's top playmaker who completed the record-breaking total of 889 assists last winter, who was 3rd in league scoring with 2,432 points, and who led the Royals with a 30.8-point game average, the most rebounds, and a .478 shooting average. The Big O.
When I played, I must confess, I didn't really know that much about a triple-double, to be honest. The way I played, I thought everybody played that way. I didn't realize that I was doing things that they were not doing. So I was just trying to do what I could do to help a team win. I just relished the competition because I think that for me, when I knew I was going to play with a certain team, I was ready to play. I think that every athlete should be done that.
During the NBA's first real surge of popularity back in the 1960s, Oscar Robertson compiled astonishing statistics that remain unmatched by any other
Robertson is the best basketball player I ever played against. I mean, he had no weakness.
He was the Michael Jordan of his day in a lot of ways. If Oscar were playing today against Michael, we would have a huge argument for him.
When I look back in my career, he's the greatest player I ever played against, period.
Oscar Robertson proved his greatness for all time when he averaged a triple-double, 31 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 11 assists for the entire 1962 season. No other player has cleared that bar.
He averaged a triple-double for a whole season. I can never compare to that. Hell, man, because you could just manipulate wherever he wanted to go. He didn't try to beat you with quickness. He just overwhelmed you, just methodically back you where he wanted to take you and just jump right over you.
Players were afraid of him as much as they respected him. They were also afraid of him.
When I was in grade school and learning about the game, I heard about this legendary guy from Cincinnati named Oscar, and they called him the Big O, and I wondered what he was all about.
The advertisement, the press, the publicity, the public were looking for their heroes to be white, and Oscar just happened to be a great player.
But his greatness was never fully appreciated in Cincinnati. For 10 long seasons, the Royals were mired in mediocrity, never reaching the NBA Finals. While in Boston, center Bill Russell was anointed an NBA immortal after winning 9 titles in the 1960s.
I found out that he was about athletic ability, intelligence, leadership qualities, and just someone who wanted to make this game the best game that he could make it. So we're talking about someone with total mastery of the game, both ends of the court. Hasn't really been equal since then.
Oscar Robertson's career in Cincinnati was spectacular. Rookie of the Year, perennial All-Star, NBA MVP. But as the 60s drew to a close, Robertson was on the move.
Oscar, when you look back after all these years in Cincinnati, did you ever think the day would come that you would be traded from the Cincinnati Royals?
Not prior to this past year, Jack. No, I didn't. I felt that I wanted to play out my tenure here in Cincinnati.
I think that's your gift and your curse. I think you were so good that unless you try to do the specific things in the specific areas that you did, rebounding, no matter your size, who was under there, shooting, no matter, until you try to do it, I don't know if you can have a true appreciation, because I've tried, and I appreciate it because I could not.
I know this. I could have played against anybody. If I'd played against a Jordan or Kobe or LeBron, I wouldn't take it a personal challenge. I knew what I had to do as a team, as a guard for this team. I knew what a team had to do. I never tried to confront any great player on a personal challenge because that's not the way you play basketball. Basketball is a game of a group of 5 players, and sometimes 3 or 4 on the bench. That's where you get to win it or lose it.
Oscar Robertson is a legend of the game. He still holds the triple-double record. He's an NBA champion, a former MVP, a 12-time All-Star.
He's arguably the best player to ever play this game.
The most complete player of all time.
It was remarkable to see his gift.
His contribution to the NBA, I don't think will ever really be appreciated.
The increased talk of triple-double, I think you have brought more attention to that with your performance this year. And I talked to Oscar Robertson, and I asked him if he thought anybody could do this, if he thought you could do what he did in 1962 and only he's done. And he said yes, he thought you could do it. I thought that does that surprise you a little bit?
Absolutely. They say all records are meant to be broken, but that record doesn't seem like it could be broken. You know, in the older days, it was a lot more possessions. It was a faster game. The average of scoring per game was like 119 points a game. The numbers was crazy back then. I just don't think it could happen, man. But I'm gonna do what I can do individually to help our team. No, there's not one guy on this planet who can do it. I think that's one of those records that will never be touched.
Not if you know anything about basketball history, specifically as it pertains to Oscar Robertson, the man whose single-season record Westbrook actually eclipsed. While most basketball aficionados relish the greatness of Robertson's surreal play, the man did average a near triple-double for 5 consecutive seasons, by the way.
I don't think that's going to happen either, not for a whole year.
Oscar Robertson is the only guy that's ever averaged a triple-double all season. And I said that the only guy that could really do that, the next guy, is LeBron James. Do you think that you could ever average a triple-double?
Wow. Oh, man. I think some records are meant to be broken, but Wow. I know. I mean, Oscar, he was putting up, 30s, 13, 12s, for a whole season. I couldn't imagine it.
I choose to reminisce about the man's greatness of character, specifically his courage. Translation, the money these athletes are getting paid, the freedom they get to exercise in the process didn't occur because they can shoot better, jump far higher, or run faster than everybody else. It's because of an old school warrior who thought about others beyond himself, chose to stand front and center in the eye of a conglomerate storm, pioneering the way to a better society for a future generation. No, it's not Martin Luther King Jr. or Malcolm X. Hell, maybe it isn't even Muhammad Ali. But it's up there nevertheless, if you really think about it.
What Oscar did with the triple-double, that will never happen ever again. Never in history of the game.
Tapped away by Allen. Robertson controlling it. Look at that lead pass to Henry. Robertson, he must have 4 or 5 eyes.
It's a big Oscar, congratulations, I think, Jack. Big win for you. What do you feel? Is this better than the days that you did? Oh, it's great. Finally got it.
Some records are meant to be broken, but wow. I know. Oscar, whew. No, there's not one guy on this planet who can do it. I think that's one of those records that will never be touched.
I don't think that's going to happen either, not for a whole year.
What Oscar did with the triple-double, that will never happen ever again. Never.
A couple of years ago, if somebody had said to you, do you think it's possible to average a triple-double in the NBA? What would you have thought?
I would say, why not?
We've never seen a player put up numbers that rival Wilt Chamberlain and Oscar Robertson, what they did in their era. He's doing it. He's not only doing it, he's surpassing Oscar Robertson and is about to surpass him, I think, with more than 41 triple-doubles.
He's leading this league in scoring. He's 3rd in assists. He is 10th in this league in rebounding. He is averaging 10.7 rebounds at 6 feet 3 inches tall, and I'm not even sure he's that tall. No one I've ever watched in all my years of covering the NBA has played harder possession after possession after possession than this man has.
Oklahoma City lead. Westbrook. Cocking the hammer. Pulling the trigger and one. Westbrook with the hesitation.
The numbers he is putting up are absolutely staggering.
Mr. Triple-Double, Russell Westbrook.
And the winner of the 2017 Kia NBA Most Valuable Player Award is Russell Westbrook.
That's rude, folks.
Here's Westbrook. Oh my goodness.
Russell pulls up at the nail and scores! Thunder out of timeouts. Adams gives it back to Russ. Deep shot! Get it! What a perfect ending to a historic day!
What he's doing as far as averaging triple-double 2 years in a row, any player that's played in this league think that is amazing.
And the only
only other player to average a triple-double in a season. Please give a warm Oklahoma welcome to Oscar Robertson.
I think that what he has done has been historic in nature. He's played with passion and pride, and it's outstanding what he's done in the way he did it. You people should really be proud of him for his accomplishments. And I say congratulations again. I only have one more thing to say. MVP!